First question, zone. Zone is an entity which contain the records. Second, zone type. Two types of zone, forward and second one, reverse.
Reverse.
As you
Forward.
already know, DNS is used for name resolution, name to IP and IP to name, vice versa. So forward is used for name to IP.
Okay.
And reverse means IP to name. Okay.
Okay.
By default, if you integrate DNS with Active Directory, only forward zone created, not reverse. Okay. Reverse you can create manually, not automatically it created. Okay. So if you go for the reverse, there's a blank, there's no zone added. But forward, they already has a entity. So in earlier question, we have said that zone is an entity which contain the records. And what type of record? Mostly we are using.
Okay. Name to IP and IP to name.
Yeah. So mostly we have record.
Reverse, same thing happens on reverse ARP and ARP, right?
What?
Address resolution protocols.
No.
Okay, the forward is name to IP. Okay, IP to name.
This is not terms related to the ARP and RARP. This is term related to only name resolution service.
Okay.
Resource record. How many resource record? Mostly we are using host A, PTR, NS, SOA, SRV and MX. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 CNAME. So there are many records in the DNS, but we consider only 7 records mostly. Host, PTR, NS, SOA, SRV, MX and CNAME. These are the DNS records. So whole DNS query depend on the records. If anything wrong with the records, mostly record automatically created, but sometimes it's misguided. Like you have recently changed the computer name, you have recently changed your IP address, you are recently out of the network. So that time maybe your record is misconfigured or deleted. So in that case you are not able to communicate. So we have to just verify the record is proper or not. Even sometime your server also, like server got corrupted, your machine is restarted, your DNS is not able to identify the server IP address. So these things we have to verify from the records. So I just show you. First of all, the records, what record used for which purpose. First of all, host used for name to IP resolution. And PTR record used for IP to name. So it means PTR record created on the reverse zone and host record created on the forward zone.
Forward zone.
Right?
Name to IP and IP to name, right?
Yeah. NS define the name server. Name server means FQDN. FQDN is the combination of host name plus domain name.
Okay.
So it means if your machine is server 1, your computer name is server 1 and domain name is multisoft.com. So your
Okay.
FQDN is server1.multisoft.com, and that
Okay.
is called FQDN, fully qualified domain name. SOA manage all updates.
Manage all updates, right?
Yes. When the record has to expire, when the record has to refresh, each setting, if you change anything in the DNS, automatically updates in the SOA records. That is called start of authority. So SRV to find TCP/IP service location, like LDAP and Kerberos. LDAP
Okay.
is a protocol for the directory service and Kerberos is a protocol for authentication purpose.
Authentication, yes. SSL authentication.
Okay. So forward zone
Yes.
is for name to IP, reverse zone is IP to name.
Okay.
So once you create forward zone, by default is automatic create if you integrate it with DNS or it integrated with Active Directory.
Okay.
It contain host record,
Okay.
NS and SOA, because NS and SOA is a default record. If you create forward, you will find NS SOA. If you create reverse, you also find NS and SOA.
Oh, okay.
And PTR for reverse only in this way. Okay. So forward zone host NS SOA. Reverse zone PTR NS and SOA.
NS and SOA.
Yeah.
These are the zone types, okay?
These are the zone records. Zone record. We have type inside na host PTR NS SOA. These all are the record, resource record. We call it RR record.
Okay.
And SOA, SRV to find the TCP/IP service location, LDAP and Kerberos, and MX for mail exchange. If you have configured the mail server like exchange server, whatever this mail server is, then we are required to create a MX record. So MX record only required if we are using the email service.
Okay.
CNAME like chronicle name, like Rohit also known by the Saha and Saha also known by the Rohit.
Okay.
So,
CNAME.
yeah, CNAME is not
Define
your
the name
nickname.
server.
You can say your nickname. So now I show you record in the zone, forward zone. So we have created
Okay.
multisoft.com and you able to find host a record which contain name to IP, name and the associate IP. And NS record,
Okay.
once you go for NS record, it will show you the fully qualified domain in FQDN. The computer name of server, then the domain name. Right? If you go for the SOA, you will able to see all parameter, refresh, interval, retry interval, expire after, and TTL value for the records. So it means every 15 minutes record will refresh
Okay.
and every 10 minutes it try to retrieve the records. Record will expire after 1 days and minimum default value is 1 hours.
Yes.
So all things managed by the SOA. And once any record anything add inside the DNS, their serial number automatically increment.
Okay.
Like it's showing 20, maybe after some time it also increases. It depend on the records.
Okay.
So 3 record you are able to see NS, SOA and host in the forward zone. Reverse zone is
Yes.
blank because by default reverse zone is not created automatically. We can manually create it. So if anyone asks what is the zone, zone is an entity which contain the records, or you can say which is used to manage the records. Second question, how many types of zone? There are two types of zone, forward and reverse.
Reverse.
Forward name
Okay.
to IP and reverse is IP to name.
These are important, right?
Yeah,
It can come in an interview.
yeah.
Okay.
So if they raise the topic from DNS, they can ask these questions.
Okay.
Okay. So inside the forward, reverse, new zone. We can select new zone. First of all, I just verify DNS is working or not from the server side. So there is a command ns lookup. So right click on server name and launch ns lookup.
Okay.
So we just give the name, whatever the name is, multisoft.com. It reply with the IP address, right? It's showing the IP
Yes.
address. It means it resolving name to IP.
Name to
But
IP.
if you try IP, it will not resolve the name. Why? Because your reverse zone is not created, right?
Not clear.
So if I created the reverse zone, next, these are the zone scope: primary zone, secondary zone and stub zone. The one question also, how many types of zone scope? There are 3 types: primary, secondary and stub. Primary means the main server, main writable copy of DNS server. Secondary, not a writable copy. It's just for load balancing. Like you call the call center. If your call center
Okay.
number which you have dialed it is not available, so what happened? It automatically switches to the another call center and they can
Okay.
reply your answer. In the same manner, if DNS is not available, so my secondary DNS automatically start working. That's why we
Yes.
have two options: primary DNS and secondary DNS.
Okay.
So if my primary DNS will not work, not be able to work, then we can go for the secondary DNS.
Secondary DNS.
So that's why there's primary zone and secondary zone. Third one is stub. So if anyone
Yes.
asks what is the difference between primary and secondary, you can say primary is a reader writable copy of DNS database, but secondary only a read only copy of DNS database.
Database.
Stub zone used for a special purpose to fast the resolving of primary DNS.
Stub zone is not like to okay. Primary zone creates a copy of a.
Yeah.
Oh, I have heard about stub in that in the stub command in the AGRP kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Stub command when it
No. In
doesn't work out
OSPF
after.
you have heard.
Okay, it's a different use. Yeah,
Yeah.
different use.
Stub is just
Different.
term, but in case of DNS there is a means that you want to do the resolving fast of primary DNS, then you are required to use the stub. So I just
No,
give
we
you
use
the
this.
yeah.
Actually, we use this command for for blocking the updates. To go to the nodes and all. So,
Uh,
EIGR, we use this command. So that's the reason I just asked. So
no, no,
it's
no.
a different thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different. So stub zone means basically, like I just give you the example, like your
Mm-hmm.
industry is working and your company name is multi.com, and your local user is want to communicate with another user inside the multi. So what happen? Your request directly goes to the public DNS, which is like Google, like Yahoo. So
Okay.
it take more time. So to refrain this condition, I created stub zone for primary zone. So stub zone verify the request is for local DNS or
Okay.
for public DNS. If it is for local DNS, is forward to the primary DNS.
Primary DNS. Okay.
Okay. If for
Yes.
global, so it switch to the global DNS IP. Okay. So now we just created primary zone. Primary zone, select the DNS, IPv4 we are using. Next, network ID. So we have to mention the network ID. IP address concept you already know because you are working with Cisco also.
Mm. Okay.
You know na IP address subnetting and all.
Yes. Yes.
all
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So reverse zone we just need to mention network ID 10.0.0. Sorry, my IP address is 100 I think. No? Yeah, 100. So it will create a reverse zone name, that is reverse. Reverse zone always be the reverse of your IP dot in hyphen addr dot arpa.
Um, I, yeah. Okay.
Allow only secure and dynamic updates.
Mm-hmm.
Next, finish. So you will find NS and SOA. They see they are showing unknown IP address. So you have to resolve
Okay.
it. They are showing IP. Okay. Now it's okay. Apply. Okay. And go to the forward zone. Inside the zone, go to the property. Update associate PTR record. Apply. Not created. So we need to create new pointer record. The IP address. The host name. After sometimes automatically create the PTR. If not created, so you can manually create it. And host name, whatever the host name is. Browse. It's not searching the host name.
Hmm.
We can restart the service also. Just copy the name. Oh, IP address is 1. So you can see IP address PTR is reverse IP to name.
Okay.
Host A is name to IP and PTR is IP to name. So we have to check now your machine able to resolve the name to IP also and IP to name also. Both way we can communicate. So just right click server, launch NS lookup. Ten dot zero dot zero dot sorry 100 dot 0 dot 0 dot 1. So it's also showing the name, so they're able to resolve it by using IP and by using name also. Now we are using name multisoft. So they also resolve in the IP also. So both way we can communicate.
Resolve.
Yeah.
DNS Manager, right?
Yeah.